Okay, so you've got yourself a damaged miniature and you need to figure out how to fix it. Depending on the nature of the damage, you've got a couple of options. So here I've got an orc who's managed to lose his axe head, and I've got a knight who's managed to lose his lance. Now, both of these in theory can be repaired. One's a little harder than the other. The first thing I would usually say is take a little file, emery board, piece of sandpaper, just flatten those two off so that we're going to make a good join. I've got some super thin super glue. This is high quality super glue. This is not cheap stuff. This is quite expensive super glue. Well, say quite expensive. It's a few pounds as opposed to £1 or 50p from a bargain store. But it's worth spending a little bit more on decent glue. I've actually run a little bit into this little pot there. So I've got some pre-prepared. Not too much. I'm actually going to just moisten the bottom of that because super glue activates on moisture. So by making one end slightly damp, it improves the join speed. In saying that, I'm still going to hold this on for a good 10 to 20 seconds while I let that join. A really good super glue should be quite robust once it's done. So this is option number one, and it's very much for if you've got a reasonable sized join, or if you've got 2 or 3 points of adhesion. So for instance with the Drifter King, I think there are a couple of places you could actually get it so the scepter might touch the body, but that's up to you. I don't know how it's damaged. You see, let that go, that's set. Give that a little bit of time, that'll be quite solid. Okay, leave that overnight, that'd be fine. Now here, we've got a much harder problem. Even if I use super glue, that is not going to be a very strong join. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to just flatten off both joints so they are absolutely flat. Okay, now I've got here a pin vise. I don't know if you call the same thing in the States, but it's basically for holding little tiny drills. And I have a set of little tiny drills. These were just a few pounds. They go from ridiculously small, like the thickness of a hair, to about that size. Now I picked one, I think we're talking about, this is something like 0.8, so it might be about 1 millimetre that actually. So I'm going to stick that in the pin vise, I'm going to tighten it up. Okay, that's tight now. And now with a bit of care I can actually drill into the shaft of the lance. Just turning it with hand power, and that's done. And hopefully I've got some wire here that should fit. Might be a bit too thick. Yeah, that's too thick. I'll have to get some thinner wire, or I'll use a slightly bigger drill. So I'll just go up a few notches. Yeah. So I've gone up to a slightly bigger drill. Tighten that up. And now I've got a guide hole that should still, oh, it's a little bit, no, I need to split the difference. Drop down a bit. Try there. That's better. Okay, take that, drill that out. Okay. A little piece of wire will fit perfectly. So a tiny dab of glue. Drop that in there. I'll leave that to set for a minute or two. Meanwhile, I can drill out the other end of the lance. Can go a little bit deeper here. There we go. I want to have a reasonable depth hole. Okay. Now just trim off that wire so it's got about just a little bit left over. Dab of glue. Pop that on there. Get that in the hole. There we go. And already that lance will actually stand proud because of the wire, but with a bit of glue that will now hold nicely.